I'm living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with nobody. Young Don. What's up, family? So look, you see what time it is. It's probably about 6 in the morning. I don't really know. I woke up about an hour ago, got my meditation in, read some of my book, just to get my day started. So this video is gonna be pretty much about coping with emotion, any type of emotion. But one in this specifically, I want to talk about when a loved one dies. I want to talk about how to cope with the loss of somebody that you were close to dearly. And then I'm going to go off of experience. Alright, so for me, one of the most hurtful deaths that I've been through and closest was a family member. It was my aunt. She was, so pretty much y'all know that my grandmother raised me, but my aunt later down the road had helped her raise all of us when we were very young. And that relationship me and my aunt had was pure. But you know, as family, sometimes it's not recognized as pure in the moment, you know? Sometimes it was a hectic, of course it was hectic, but it was always love. I knew she loved me unconditionally. It was just the way she showed it. You know what I'm saying? And that caused a lot of arguments, especially with me or my siblings. It caused a lot of arguments, but I knew at the end of the day it was all love. And so, in that year, 2018, my aunt had started to realize that she was throwing up every single thing she was eating. No matter what it was, she was throwing it up. And I really didn't know much about it because I guess I just didn't hear about it until the day she decided to go to the hospital to see what was going on. And the day she went to the hospital, they knew it was something serious, so they had to keep her in the hospital. I didn't think anything of it because the thought of my family dying I didn't really want to understand. But I had lost a lot of family members before that. I had lost a cousin, lost my great-grandmother. So it started to become like a trend to me because I started to get used to it, but this one affected me a lot. So once she realized something was wrong, I was working at the time, so me and all my two siblings, so it was me, my sister, and my brother, who were all working at the time, and my other brother was working somewhere else. But us three, we were working all at the same place, which was at an amusement park. It was a nice job, I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. Everything I ever wanted as a kid. I was 15, going on 16, working a job. Imagine that, getting my own money, imagine that. Especially I was spending it on whenever I wanted. I had bought myself a PlayStation 4. That was cool. But during this time, my aunt became sick. And I remember this very day, on the day back from work, I got off the city bus and my brother came to pick us up. And when he picked us up, he announced that our aunt was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And during that moment, I felt as if, I hope he's lying, I hope he's lying, I hope he's lying, I hope he's just joking, I hope he's gonna say it's just a joke, I hope he's gonna say it's just a joke. And that feeling stayed for the longest because I was hoping everything that he said was just a joke. And family, if you ever been there, you understand. You understand of hoping it's just a joke. Understanding hoping I can just rewind. Understanding that, damn, I wish I could take your place. You understand. And as soon I just started to realize, like, damn, this is really happening. Everything happened like this. From the point where she told us she only had 3 months left, to the point she went blind in the house. She went through this thing called jaundice, when it's like your skin turns yellow, your eyes turn yellow. She literally went blind in my house. She was laying she's laying on the hospital bed, and she figured out that she was blind. She was asleep most of the day because of the medicine. She was never really up, but she can hear. And during my childhood, I was always scared of trauma. I was always scared of hospitals. So when she was in a hospice hospital, I rarely went into the room. I didn't want to see her in that condition. I didn't know how to take all that was going on. But she understood. I wrote her a letter. But I don't know if I gave it to her. It took me one day. I prayed when she was in the house. I prayed, I asked for the strength to be able to go into the room and talk to her, get over my fear, and right when I prayed, I went straight into the room. She was asleep, but I told her I loved her. And I kissed her on her forehead. And for me, that was reassurance that she was always going to be there for me. She was always, no matter where she went, no matter what happened, she was always going to be there. And I was always going to be there for her. Honestly, I don't even think it made it to 3 months. I still remember the day that they rolled her out the house. So, she died on a Monday morning. She died before I woke up. And I woke up to the news. But it was a peaceful death. It wasn't nothing that we weren't ready for. But when I actually seen her being rolled out the house, that's when it hit me. Like, nigga, like, she's actually really gone. Like, it's no joke. It's nothing. Like, at first she was gone, but she was still in the house. Like, we had to wait for the people to come get her. But when they rolled her out the house, it was like, she's really gone. It's really happening. Like, they're really taking my aunt. And all I could do was hug my grandmother. And this was when I was still in religion, so all I believed was, we're gonna see her again. We're gonna see her again. I didn't know where that was, where that we're gonna see her again was. But I knew that it was gonna reassure my grandmother to be happy. And as soon as she passed away, I ended up moving. We all ended up separating. But it wasn't like a separation where we never talked. Me and my siblings ended up moving together, as you know in the beginning. My grandmother ended up selling her house, the house that she had built, which was different. It was different. Like, my grandmother would have never thought of that, you know? It was different. It was amazing. And when she sold that house, it was just like, damn, like, we all grew up in this house. Like, it was like monumental. It was real monumental, but I was happy for her because she was no longer going to be in debt. She was no longer have to pay so much money for mortgage. It was no longer a big responsibility for her, so she could finally have peace. And I tell you this story to hopefully maybe you can relate and see that if I can cope, you can cope. I've been there. I lost people who got shot. I lost so much family. You wouldn't imagine. But the way I cope is just talking. Just talking. No matter what, just speaking to the universe, and whatever message that I want for them to receive, they'll receive. No matter what, just send it out in the universe. Just talk to them. Just talk. That's the best way to cope with that. Just talk to them. And you'll see little by little that your message was answered. You'll see it. This morning I woke up out of an illusion. It wasn't an illusion, it was real. I know it was. I know truly in my heart that it was real. So this morning, I ended up with a couple of family members. It was in my dream. I ended up with a couple of family members. And so, long story short, I seen my aunt. And when I seen her, she came straight to me and gave me a hug, and I started crying. And when that happened, another person in the dream pointed up to make it seem like she was connecting, like he knew I was in a dream. And pointed up and ensured that she was connecting to me from up there, wherever she's at. She's beside me, I know she's here. But pretty much ensured that she was connecting to me through my dream. And I felt it. I didn't have to ask for reassurance. I didn't have to look anything up. I knew that's what it was. I felt the love. It was pretty much her telling me that she got me no matter what, that she's here with me no matter what. You gotta realize, family, if you lose somebody that's close to you, those are now your spirit guides. They're protecting you. They're helping you on your journey. So it's okay. It's okay just to talk. It's not weird. I do it all the time. This video is kind of different because I just wanted to share my experiences, so maybe that you can, so it can probably help you, or you could probably relate to it and realize that just because somebody leaves this earth doesn't mean they leave this astral plane. They're still here with us. Just send them messages, and I promise they'll receive them. They're here to protect you. They're here to help you on this journey, and we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through this together, so I'm not giving up on you, so don't give up on yourself. I know you hear the birds chirping, and Mother Gaia working, and I'm enjoying life, and I'm living my best life. Feeling good, family. So I want to send all type of good vibrations to you. This video was different. It was more chill. Usually I'm more excited, but it was hard to get excited after that experience. I'm very low right now. Not low in vibration, but I'm chill. I wanted to share that experience with you, and I love each one of you guys. I want to thank you for tuning into this video. I'm about to drop the podcast, and after this, I'm about to record. So I want you guys to tune into that as well. Tap in, family. I love each one of you. Keep on raising those vibrations. Love Namaste.